Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Columbia. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back at it once again. 316 Greystone Boulevard. Fast-paced, action-packed, hurry-up and no-huddle sports talk programming for you. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeart radio application. Download it today. It is free. The Clemson Sports Talk app, also free, and so thankful to be back with you here as we make our way towards another great weekend and week of college football coverage for you. I guess off of the heels of a great weekend. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. The hashtag on Twitter, CST Show, and you can follow the program again at Clemson Sports and our new website coming out shortly, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Now, if you've been a long-time listener and you want to be a long-term supporter, you want to be a short-term supporter, we do have some new information up over on our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. You can click on the Support Us portion over on the left side under our links to find out more about how you can support us now as we continue to grow the brand, and we thank each and every one of you for what you've done for us. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That's the number. You want to text us, it's the Ocean Reef Resort text line, 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086 is the number as we come to you live from the belly of the beast, Columbia, South Carolina, each and every day, 6 to 8 p.m. And, of course, continuing our coverage of the Clemson Tigers for you here in the evenings and through the podcast editions, which not only are available for you on your iPhone or Android device, but now on your Amazon Alexa or your Google Home device. You can just simply say, listen to Clemson Sports Talk. Of course, you've got to use that trigger phrase that comes along with it, but very excited about the direction of the program and very excited about where things are going right now in terms of this Clemson Tiger football team, because I'll tell you what, the defending national champions have hit the field, ready to rock and roll, ready to go, and Dabo Swinney seems very happy about where this team is right now. Dabo Swinney seems very confident in this team, and I think if you were to take a step back and reflect on exactly what Clemson lost and what the Tigers have lost in recent years, you would know that there is a ton of talent now missing from the Clemson Tigers. But Dabo Swinney saying after the third practice of the season that he was very encouraged so far. He said, we've been mixing it up quite a bit. Sometimes we've had the ones versus the ones and the twos versus the twos, but other times we'll mix it up. And he talked about the fact that, you know what, that told him that since they don't see much difference there, that they seem to have good depth on both sides of the football. Now, on Friday's program, we talked about the fact that, you know, where are some of the underlying issues for the Clemson Tigers potentially? Where are the potential red flags in terms of this Clemson Tiger team? And I tended to lean towards the defensive side of the ball in the secondary. I mean, can we raise red flags left and right about the quarterback situation? Yes, but you don't know who's going to be the guy yet. Can we be concerned about the running back spot? You could be, because Wayne Gallman was a heck of a talent. The wideout position right now seems like it's going to be okay. Did you happen to see T. Higgins climb the ladder? Or as they say over in England, get up on the lift, I guess you would say, and go up to the top shelf and bring down an incredible grab during practice? And again, practice. Yes, Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice. But, man, the athleticism on that kid, he's a young man that ever since July the 4th, 2016, when his video came out of his commitment, he shot off the fireworks and it was Clemson. You kind of felt like that the fireworks were going to be coming for the Tigers down the road at the wide receiver spot again. Hard to believe that teams just watched guys like Mike Williams, Sammy Watkins, and Nuke Hopkins come through this system. And yet you've got a guy like T. Higgins who really looks the part in terms of being that long, athletic. And boy, Martavis Bryant, if you're listening, I apologize for leaving you out of that conversation. But there is no doubt that this group of individuals that Clemson has collected on the offensive side of the ball at receiver, they're phenomenal. And Amari Rodgers also has not disappointed Dabo Swinney either. We'll give you some of the insight on what Dabo Swinney had to say about Amari Rodgers, the true freshman wideout as well, here in a moment. But we said our kind of concern would be the secondary. The biggest benefit that secondary has, though, in my opinion, is the fact that the defensive line is expected to be so good. And because they're expected to be really, really good, the amount of time that the secondary may need to cover could be diminished significantly, which helps them out a lot. But what we did find out on Saturday, and our Zach Lentz was up on the scene in Tiger Town with all the coverage, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, was the fact that Ray McLeod is doing some work on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we reported to you earlier in the week that Ray was unable to catch the football because of some surgery that he had on his hand. But now you've got a situation where maybe, and I'm going to use this hesitantly because I don't know that it's so much about Ray needing to cross-train defensively as much as perhaps just allowing Ray to be as active as possible in a role that is viable or sustainable for someone with an injured hand. Or maybe Ray McLeod sees a move to the defensive side of the ball as a route and path to the NFL. He is not the biggest player on the team. He has been a bit of a liability for Clemson in the return game. Not somebody that everybody is overly confident in when he is back receiving the football. But as the Clemson Tigers today wrap up their exams and really shift their attention towards tonight's practice and then practices moving forward, well, where they will be in pads tomorrow, there is no mistaking the fact that a kid like Ray McLeod, with the offense that is around him, could very easily find a spot for Clemson at the collegiate level at 5'10", 180-plus pounds. But is he better suited, if he can pull it off, to work a little bit on the defensive side of the ball and perhaps even ultimately move over there? Dabo Swinney saying we've used Ray at both receiver and defensive back, and we're just trying to use him in different ways. We've had him over there backpedaling, then we had him running some routes. Dabo Swinney mentioned again that Ray McLeod can't catch the ball right now, but he can get over there and cover. He says it's kind of been fun watching him because he's one of those rare guys that can play either side of the ball. And we're taking advantage of the time with him and seeing what he can do. Those are the words of Dabo Swinney on Ray McLeod, doing a little bit of work on the defensive side of the ball. Now, a part of that movement from Ray McLeod could perhaps be attributed to the fact that you've seen a situation with Clemson beginning to unfold at wide receiver with Amari Rodgers, and less about that defensive backfield as we talked about last week. I don't think that's why Ray's over there. I think this is more about, again, activity, execution, keeping himself in what I would label conditioned, I would say, shape. I don't want to say game shape, but certainly keeping him more conditioned than he would be just standing idly by on the sidelines watching. But Dabo Swinney saying about Amari Rogers, the freshman wideout. Amari is beyond his years when you consider what you expect from a freshman. He has made some incredible plays already. You can tell he has already put in a lot of study time since he arrived in June. And for the Clemson Tigers, in terms of these two freshman wide receivers and the opportunities that maybe they both will present for this coaching staff in 2017 would be nice additions, especially, in my opinion, a situation that you could bring yourself into if Amari Rogers steps to the forefront just a little bit, simply because of the fact that I believe that the expectation was that as Artavis Scott moved on to the NFL a year early, which is unfortunate because I don't know how Artavis Scott's stock would or would not have improved. I don't have that crystal ball to tell you, but I don't get the feeling that his stock would have dipped in the offense this year at Clemson, where I think he would have been a big feature for this Clemson Tiger team. But clearly, with him now out of the picture, that opened up opportunities for some of these other younger guys to step in. And if Ray McCloud is on the sidelines and Amari Rogers is doing well, then perhaps he's somebody that this Clemson Tiger coaching staff can count on come the opener against Kent State. But in terms of should you be concerned significantly about Ray McCloud and the cross-training at defensive back, I say no. I think that's not a whole lot about the defensive back situation. I think that's mostly about Ray McCloud trying to do whatever he can, and the coaching staff trying to give him every opportunity to do whatever he can to not only be successful at Clemson long-term, and also taking into account the injury to his hand. But the biggest news, perhaps, Dabo Swinney saying that, hey, we've gone 1v1, we've gone 1v2, and right now we just don't see a lot of drop-off. We don't see a lot of difference, which means I believe we will have good depth on both sides of the ball. The words of Dabo Swinney, not the words of Lawton Swan here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight. That's what Dabo Swinney had to say after the Tigers' third practice on Saturday. Again, Clemson stepping to the practice fields this evening and then in pads tomorrow. So that might be when we begin to see some separation from the men and the boys. That may be when we start to hear some separation of some of the newcomers from some of the upperclassmen. That'll be when maybe we get to hear some of the buzz around whether or not, say, the tight end situation with Mylane Richard. How does that unfold? Somebody replacing Jordan Leggett, arguably maybe the biggest loss that no one seems to talk about and focus on. I mean, heck, you go back and watch the impact that Jordan Leggett had for Clemson in 2017. Are you kidding me? Jordan Leggett was everywhere in every big moment for the Clemson Tigers. And his athleticism was just insane. I mean, given a kid who was 6'6", 200 and, I don't know, was it 235 pounds, 245 pounds, somewhere in there. What are you coming at the combine? Nearly 260 pounds at the combine. So let's go 6'6", 260. Makes it easier. But a guy like Jordan Leggett, who had so much versatility and the athleticism that so many NFL teams covet in terms of the ability to make plays on the ball, to make plays downfield, catching the ball in space, cutting back, doing the little things that really guys like Tony Gonzalez made into a, well, really, Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates sort of revamped the modern day NFL wideout, and now you've got guys like Gronkowski and many others who not only have tremendous size, but the athleticism to do so much with it. Well, Jordan Leggett, drafted in the 5th round by the New York Jets with the 150th overall pick, has the potential to be a guy who turns out, I think, to be an all-pro at some point. If he continues the track record to develop the way he did at Clemson, hey, Michael Jordan, the ceiling is the roof, if you know what I'm saying on this kid. Sky's the limit, Michael. That's what we were looking for. The sky's the limit for him. But minus him, how does Clemson adjust? I mean, that's something you've got to keep in mind in terms of this offense because, one, you don't have Deshaun Watson, DW4, standing back there throwing the biscuit around. And you also don't have a comfort zone that perhaps Jordan Leggett provided Deshaun Watson during his tenure in Tiger Town. Out to the phone line as we go. Caller, welcome in.
Yeah, it's just a caller here. I was going to call later, but I want to make a comment about Leggett. And that touchdown drive during the national championship.
Yes.
Without that spectacular catch that Jordan Leggett made, I don't know how he twisted his body, but you know DW was off target on that pass. And he twisted his body and stretched out and caught that ball. Without that catch, we would not have scored that touchdown.
Oh, you're right. You're 100% right. I'll buy into that. I mean, could Clemson maybe hit on a big pass? Yes, but the catch was not only a tough catch to make, a very improbable catch to make.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And another thing, how are we going to adjust without Mr. Leggett? It's a no-brainer. We got plenty of wide receivers. I mean, somebody's going to be open. With the talent we have at wide receivers, somebody's going to be open. We'll probably use our tight end this year just for blocking and maybe throw the ball to him a low percentage of the time. But that's how we adjust. Now, I told you and I warned you, I'm gonna hurt some Gamecock peeking over the fence. I'm gonna hurt their feelings right now. I'm going over their schedule with you.
All right, you got about 45 seconds to a minute, so you got to be quick.
I'll go as fast as I can. Two definite wins for them. Louisiana Tech and Wofford. That's their wins. They might beat Arkansas. They might beat Missouri. That's a question mark I have down there. I guarantee you a loss against North Carolina State. You know they're going to lose at Texas A&M. You know they're going to lose at Tennessee. You know they're going to lose at Georgia. You know Florida's going to beat them. And Clemson's going to spank them worse than everybody. So what I'm saying is they won 5 games last year. They'll be lucky to win 4. Thank you very much. And my time's up. You take care.
Appreciate it. 6 games, I believe they won last year, but other than that, I think you're spot on in your assessment in terms of the fact that they may very well finish with a worse record in 2017. I think it's a possibility. 803-978-1832. Something going on with the board. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Stay with us.
Text the keyword SHOP to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeart Radio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's SHOP to 200-200.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to win your trip.
This October, the secrets grow darker, deeper, and more dangerous than ever. Get ready for an all-new season of the CW's addictively twisted hit series Riverdale. Coming this October, Wednesdays at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
Gamecock fans looking for a great place to tailgate before kickoff? Listen up. Check out Circle and BP, 905 Bluff Road across from the stadium for some of the best parking and tailgate spots around. Newman Circle and BP has spaces available right now. Call 413-5976. That's 413-5976 for spaces almost in the shadow of Williams-Brice. So make sure you get your tailgate space now. Call Newman Circle and BP at 413-5976. That's 413-5976.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the Clemson Tigers, winners of the 2017 National Championship game.
It is the show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk. I am Lawton Swan. Joining us on the guest line tonight, he is the senior writer for ClemsonSportsTalk.com, Zach Lentz, back in the saddle once again. The Tigers wrapping up practice on Saturday. Zach was on the scene in Tiger Town. Zach, man, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. You know, it's just another day in paradise.
Listen, getting ready for a couple of more days in paradise as the Tigers, of course, will hit the practice field later this evening. Of course, they had final exams today, and then they'll put on some pads tomorrow. So that'll be an exciting moment for everybody as you finally get these guys out of shorts and their jersey tops and helmets and get them into some real pads.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. It's the time that coaches are really looking forward to. You know, everybody looks like an underwear All-American out there running around in just shorts and jersey tops and helmets. But, you know, when the pads go on, it's really when, as Dabo says, Club Med is over. You know, it's time to get down to business, and you separate the men from the boys, and you know, it should be an exciting time to really see how some of these guys that the Tigers are going to be looking to lean on this season perform when the pads are on and they're actually hitting.
Follow Zach Lentz on Twitter at Zach Lentz CST. Zach, let me ask you about the situation with Ray McLeod. We know he's had the injury and the surgery to his hand, but ultimately, in your opinion, and I've given my opinion, but for the Clemson Tiger fans listening, what's your opinion on Ray McLeod working out on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, you know, I don't know how much of a knock it is on Ray as much as it is just how impressed the coaching staff has been with Amari Rogers. I mean, you know, here's a guy that came in about 5 weeks ago and has done nothing but impress. You know, the talk coming into camp was about T. Higgins and would he be the next Sammy Watkins. Well, you know what? Amari Rogers has been the guy that Dabo Swinney, Jeff Scott, Tony Elliott, they've all raved about. In fact, Dabo Swinney said just the other day on Saturday that Cornell Powell was out with a hamstring injury, and that moved Amari to the number one spot. And he said that the offense didn't miss a beat. But Ray is a unique situation. Here's a guy that really didn't live up to the potential, hasn't lived up to the potential. Last season got off to a really hot start through the first 4 games and then just kind of fizzled out of nowhere. I don't know if the muffed punts got to him or what, but he kind of disappeared there through the last half of the season. If the Tigers can use him as a defensive back, I think it would be a great asset. Now, I don't know if Dabo is playing mind games here or there, but we should know more tomorrow because he is supposed to be back pretty much to full strength this week. So we should know, you know, if he's spending more time with the defensive backs, that might clue us into something. But it was really the bombshell that dropped on Saturday. And another thing is that Dabo mentioned that that this is something that they actually talked to Ray Ray about this summer. It wasn't something that came up, during fall camp. Hey, you can't catch the ball right now. We need you to run with the DBs. It was something that they actually addressed with Ray Ray earlier this summer. So it's been on the coaches' minds and Ray Ray's mind.
Is there a chance, Zach, in your opinion, that a guy like Ray Ray McCloud trends more towards at the next level if he's fortunate enough to make it there as a defensive back? And maybe this is more about, that type of financial maneuver, perhaps you would say, in terms of Ray Ray's long-term football prospects.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. He's a little bit undersized. I think of him more in the likeness of an Artavis Scott. He's obviously got a little bit more height and a little bit more ability to get down the field than Artavis did, but it could be the fact that he sees himself as a defensive back. I mean, there have been other premier athletes that have come to college as a wide receiver and made the change to defensive back and gone on to have great careers. I mean, Justin Miller was actually the flip side of that. He came in as a defensive back and they tested him a little bit at wide receiver. He ended up making his home at defensive back and ended up having a great NFL career. But Dabo Swinney made something very clear. They're not playing around with this. This isn't something that they're doing for fun. They don't do anything in fall camp without a purpose in mind. So, it wouldn't surprise me to see Ray Ray line up at defensive back and probably do a very good job because he has an understanding of what the receiver is trying to do, and he can maybe key on some things that a defensive back normally wouldn't.
Well, now, that's an interesting point. I would say the other side of that coin, I guess, for Ray Ray McCloud would be that coming out of high school, he played a little running back as well, and we saw a guy like Wayne Gallman, who was a running back and / linebacker in high school, who liked hitting people. Maybe Ray Ray's got a little bit of that in him too still. Maybe he likes to hit some people every once in a while and a little bit of contact. Talking with Zach Lentz, ClemsonSportsTalk.com is the website. He's on Twitter at Zach Lentz CST. And Zach, as we look around the Clemson Tiger football nation, there's a lot of excitement, and I know you had an article up on our website about this very thing, the tightening up of the security around Clemson's football complex. Talk to the Clemson Tiger listeners that may not have had the chance to read your article on that and what the future might look like if you want to get a glimpse of the Golden Scepter, I believe is what it is called by our good buddy Don Munson.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be locked down. In fact, that process has already began. Basically, Thad Turnipseed, Director of Recruiting and administrative stuff over at the athletic department, talked to us the other day, and basically what he said was they have had so many fans pulling up to the new Reeves football complex there that they actually had to go in and add more parking spaces because it was becoming an inconvenience for not only the staff there, but the players weren't being able to park at the facility, the coaches weren't being able to park. He said there were days when they would have 1,000 fans show up looking to get a tour of the facility, and it's a very cool facility if you've not been there. You walk in the lobby and there's all the championship trophies, the crystal ball, the MacArthur trophy, the Golden Scepter, and then you've got the Nike room to the side and the slide and all that stuff. Well, fans were just coming in there wanting to tour, hopefully catch a glimpse of Dabo or a player or just get a general picture going down the slide. Well, that was causing some serious problems. So what they're doing is by the end of August, actually, they're going to have a gate up, and that you will no longer be allowed to enter to park up there. And basically what they have said is through the football season, they may revisit this after the football season, but through the football season, basically it's going to be locked down to the public. If you want to take a picture of the trophy, you can go in, take a picture of the trophy, and then you've immediately got to leave. So there's no more parking, there's no more pulling around. You've got to walk from Jervey Meadows across past the tombstones and up to there. But it's for a logistical purpose. They said that it was becoming to the point where the facility couldn't function as it was needed to in serving the players and the coaches and the staff. because there was so much congestion, so many people coming in trying to get a glimpse of the trophy and obviously the $55 million facility.
Zach Lentz again on Twitter at Zach Lentz CST. Zach, man, appreciate your time here tonight on Clemson Sports Talk and looking forward to all the coverage that you've got for the folks, not only on social media but also on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Be good, brother.
Hey, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
There he is, Zach Lentz. I hadn't talked to him all day, only 15 times for probably 35 minutes a pop. Let's be honest about that. 803-978-1832 is the number. 803-978-1832. Be a part of the show that shakes the Southland online at Clemson Sports, or you can follow me at CST Show. Yeah, I've added a little wrinkle to my Twitter handle. At some point, maybe that's going to be the Twitter feed for the show, and the other will be the website, and I'll be just old Swanee on Twitter or whatever it turns out to be. But again, we appreciate Zach's work as well. And just a caller earlier, I think he said his name was a caller, said that South Carolina would definitely beat La Tech, Wofford, maybe Arkansas, and Missouri. Gamecock Nation, 4 wins. That's what that previous Tiger, a caller, as he called himself, gives you. 4. That's a disappointing outcome. Stay with us. We'll talk about it.
The solar eclipse is coming. Watch it safely and in style with your free eclipse glasses available right now at all Pit Stop convenience stores. That's right, Coca-Cola and Pit Stop are partnering to give a pair of eclipse glasses to every customer who buys a Coke product at Pit Stop. Absolutely no catch. Just buy a Coke product and get a pair of commemorative glasses free. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last, so hurry in, because like the eclipse, if you miss it, you miss it. Want free eclipse glasses? Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
You've done the research, Jonathan, and decided on a Honda.
And you waited for just the right time to buy, Gary, and now it's here.
The Honda Summerbration Sales Event
at Honda of Columbia.
We're clearing out every 2017 Honda in stock at the lowest prices of the entire year and giving you a hassle-free buying experience.
Don't wait. The Honda Summerbration Sales Event is the time to buy at Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978.
Highway 378 at I-20 and HondaofColumbia.com.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
The showers out there this evening will die off overnight. The lows will dip down to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot of clouds and some pretty active storms late in the day. The highs only mid to upper 80s. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia wants to give a big thank you to our customers for making us #1 in Toyota customer service in the state of South Carolina. Our product specialists are always ready to assist you before, during, and after the sale. Stop by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia and see why we're #1.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show now at 978-1832 or text 803-450-0086.
Little Russ in the background, Swanee in the foreground, Lowell the intern. Who knows where that kid is? He could be anywhere in the world. It's like Where in the world is Lowell, the intern? You never know with this guy. He's all over the place. 803-978-1832. He should be back, though, in the saddle with us here on the show that shakes the Southland tomorrow. So if you're a loyalist, that's Lowellist, not loyal, Lowellist. He'll be back tomorrow. You want to be a part of the program, you can. 803-978-1832. Appreciate Zach Lentz. By the way, 00 Overton's Orange called in and said, Swanee, that was me. I was a caller. And if anybody has a problem with what I said, they can take it up with 00. Absolutely. 4 wins for the Gamecocks is what 00 is predicting. Again, that schedule, Gamecock Nation, let me be the one that tempers the expectation. Maybe that's my responsibility as being the Clemson show here in the Midlands of South Carolina. Again, if this is the Price is Right, and I'm looking at the box of macaroni and cheese, and Drew Carey, for that matter, I'd much prefer it be Bob Barker, just between you and me. Okay? Much prefer it to be Bob Barker. But if we're standing there and that box of macaroni's got 8-4 or 4-8. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If that box of macaroni's got 8-4 or 4-8. Man, the people in the crowd are going, 4-8, Swanee. 4-8. Nobody. There might be 3 people pointing. 8-4. Put it on 8-4. Now listen, Gamecock Nation, do I think you're going 4-8 this year? I really don't think you're going to go 4-8. But do I think that it's going to be better than last season for the Gamecocks, given the schedule ahead of them? I do not. I do not. Just like I don't think, let me just break this down for Clemson Tiger Nation as well. I don't think that your record is going to be better than it was last year either. Now, could both of these teams perhaps finish with the exact same record? Yeah. But I don't think either team is going to be better than what they were last year. Now, for Clemson, come on. It's better than 14-1. It's 15-0. You're not going to be 15-0, Tiger Nation. I'm just going to break that down for you. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, trust me. I'll be happy to walk in studio and eat the crow as the back-to-back national champions. But for South Carolina fans, again, the NC State game is going to be a tremendous measuring stick game for you because, one, when I saw you last season against a good defensive line in the Clemson Tigers, I saw struggles galore. And that NC State team is very good defensively. I had no faith that Missouri would challenge you at 3 weeks ago in the middle of summer. No faith in Mizzou. And then the more I hear about them, the more people are talking them up. Now, I don't know if that's just fodder and fluff for this time of the year or what. But it's on the road, Columbia, Missouri. That's got to be a toss-up. Kentucky, I would believe you should be able to beat. But still, tough. Now, you might start 3-0, and this will change the whole dynamic of where you are. But even if we give you 4-0 out the gate, give you 4-0 out the gate. You beat NC State. You beat Missouri. You beat Kentucky. You beat Louisiana Tech. 4-0. Boom, we're rolling. It feels like it's going to have a little 2007 in it. Where you're, 6-1 or whatever it was, and ranked 6th in the country, and then 5 consecutive losses, I think it was. 2017 has the potential to be that type of year. And I'm sure there are Gamecock fans out there who look at it and go, man, we could get off to a 4-0 start and be feeling really good. You go to A&M, Kevin Sumlin in a must-win year. You got Arkansas at home, at Tennessee, Vandy. I would believe you should win that game. That would give you 5 wins. At Georgia's a loss. Florida's a loss. You win Wofford, that's 6. You lose to Clemson, that's 6-6. I don't believe it's going to be better. Even if I give you the 4 games at the front of the schedule. Like, what I would love to hear from a Gamecock fan who is willing to be realistic with me are the reasons that South Carolina would win more than 6 games with this schedule. Who are the teams that the Gamecocks are we're just better than them, Swan. We're better than them. You give me that, I'll get out the way. You say, well, listen, we're better than NC State because of X, Y, and Z. And I gave you that win. And I gave you the Missouri, and I gave you the Kentucky, and I gave you the La Tech. So then you got to convince me about why you're better than Texas A&M, why you're better than Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, and Clemson. Your Honor, I don't have a compelling case to present today. But I'll leave that to you guys. You can present it on social media at Clemson Sports. Love to hear it. Write up a full diatribe of how this could happen. But I do not believe that either team in this state will finish with a better record than they had last season. I don't think that's a reach. Tiger fans, it's going to be tough to do what you've done the past 2 years. Let's face it. 28-2 in the past 2 seasons. Pretty incredible. If you manage to get to 42-3, just go ahead and I don't know. If Clemson goes 14-1 again, just put Dabo in the Ring of Honor and be done with it. Just get it out of the way. Excuse us. We're going to need to make some room for Dabo's name up here. Can you imagine that if Coach Swinney pulls that feat off? The other thing that's on the line for Coach Swinney this year is his 100th win as well. And as we mentioned here on Clemson Sports Talk, that 100th win could potentially be in that South Carolina game. Dabo Swinney coming into the season 89-28. South Carolina, the 12th game on the schedule for the Tigers in a season where a lot of people are predicting maybe 1, maybe 2 losses. Swinney playing for 99 or 100 against the Gamecocks here in Columbia. But I need compelling arguments because I don't know what those would be, why South Carolina would be better this year, why they would win 7 games, or who those 7 games are. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Radio.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to win your trip.
State Farm Neighborhood Sessions celebrates great artists who inspire us to give back to our neighborhoods. Head to neighborhoodsessions.com to check out what these artists did for their communities and find out how simple it is to help yours.
At Columbia Metropolitan Airport, easy is getting wherever you need to be with the convenience of leaving right from your hometown. So next time you need to get to Chicago or anywhere else in the world, check us first and fly with ease at CAE.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more, From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
There's only one original pool table store in Columbia. Carolina Pool Tables Plus, located on 2 Notch Road. While others may call themselves a pool table store, they can't match the original with selection, service, and prices. Carolina Pool Tables Plus has been in Columbia for over a decade and offers the largest selection of true solid maple and oak pool tables in the Carolinas. Not like those internet sites that claim to have real wood but sell fake wood and veneers for the same price. Stop by Carolina Pool Tables Plus, where you'll be treated like family in their beautiful showroom while you browse the huge selection of pool tables, accessories, and unique game tables. Their staff is the friendliest in Columbia, and they're dedicated to educating their customers before they buy. No tricks or gimmicks, just honest answers to all of your questions at the guaranteed lowest price. Carolina Pool Tables Plus at 5717 2 Notch Road. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. Stop by their showroom today or call 803-799-5305. Experience the difference at Pool Tables Plus.
At the Home Depot, free carpet installation means free carpet installation. And free includes clearing out furniture, ripping out old carpet, hauling it away, even carpeting stairs, with no hidden fees. Free installation on carpet $699 or more means free installation. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
Positive K, yes. Hip-hop music back in the house. Swanee in the house. I guess technically not the house, but Swanee in the building. Hanging out with you here each and every day. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the iHeart Radio app. You know, when I say that about being in the building, I can't help but recall listening back to some of the old podcast archives of this show. And we used to have that song that played. The Tigers in the building. But I honestly, I don't know what happened to that one. Like, things randomly disappear from your board here at iHeartMedia. I don't know what happens. I blame Timmy Tim. I mean, we've still got some of the classics. We got the old We Too Deep. But I don't think we've got that Tigers in the Building song anymore. And I just don't know what happened to it. I wish I could find it and get it back. For those of you that don't remember, it was one that we used to play many years ago when we did this show out of our house. That was truly out of the house. The Palatial 108 Studios. Now, up in the building, 316 Greystone Boulevard. Golly, I'm getting old. 10 years ago, Barry Bonds hit his 756 home run, passing Hank Aaron. That was 10 years ago? Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to the time? I mean, that really, now, you want to talk about, like, moments that set you back. And listen, I was not a big fan of Barry Bonds and his head that looked like it was the size of a watermelon. I mean, you know, not a huge fan of the transition. Yeah, you talk about transforming your body. Yeah, I think they meant naturally, Barry. But, man, that was 10 years ago. Where have I been? I guess doing this show gave us a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Speaking of fun stuff to talk about, we mentioned this earlier about the Clemson Tigers being back on the practice field, but realistically, and I don't think anybody could ever really have foreseen the benefits of what would come for the Clemson Tigers in terms of South Carolina's dismissal of Brad Scott and Jeff Scott ultimately ending up at Clemson as a football player to now be a co-offensive coordinator with his former stretching partner at Clemson, Tony Elliott. You got to remember, and by the way, our good friend Bob Gillespie with a heck of an article about this subject for the state newspaper. But you got to remember, Brad Scott, head coach in Columbia, 1-10 season. South Carolina fans just feeling terrible about where their program is. Lou Holtz comes in, gives them the goose egg the following year, 0-11. But Brad Scott has two sons at the time, two teenage sons, Jeff and John. You know, talks about the fact that he has to resign after 5 years there with South Carolina's program. Jeff Scott saying it wasn't a shock after going 1-10, even at 18. I knew what was probably coming. Of course, what ends up happening is Brad Scott, head coaching career ends at that point. Brad Scott ends up being at Clemson. Jeff Scott ends up being a football player there. And ultimately, that would lead to Jeff Scott then being a part of this Clemson Tiger coaching staff. And, of course, Clemson winning a national championship. I mean, you think about the fact that for so many years, really when Brad Scott arrived at Clemson, Gamecock Nation, I would say was virtually indifferent. Gamecocks, you correct me if I'm wrong on that. They like to give Clemson more of a ribbing for Brad Scott being there than anything else. But now, you look at how it turned out with the Tigers and Jeff Scott and the job that he's done. It sure seems like the firing of Brad Scott here in Columbia turned out to be a tremendous benefit for the Clemson Tigers. Not necessarily on the playing field with Jeff Scott there, typically just a holder for Clemson, but definitely in bringing some of the aspects that his father had as an offensive mind in the collegiate game. Absolutely some of the investment that his father made in him in terms of the recruiting trail and the aspects of being a recruiter. Jeff Scott, who locally here in the Midlands of South Carolina, when Blythewood High School kicked off, was the head coach there, leading them to a state championship, was an assistant for a little while at Presbyterian, and just has continued to grow and expand his role in Tigertown since back in 2008. But I guarantee you, not a soul, not one person thought to themselves on that fateful day back in 1998 when the South Carolina Gamecocks cut ties with Brad Scott, that you would fast forward 18 years and his son, Jeff Scott, would now be leading an offense that was, oddly enough, formerly known as, remember this, Chad Morris's offense. Is it Chad Morris's offense? You remember those conversations? That was when we say, no, this is a Clemson offense. Well, now, Elliott and Scott have done an incredible job with it, going back to that Russell Athletic Bowl when they debuted as co-offensive coordinators, and all of that goes back 18 years to the day the Gamecocks let go of Brad. Interesting story by Bob Gillespie on the state's website.
If you want a mortgage through a member-owned and community-driven credit union, then Mid-Carolina Credit Union is your choice. Low mortgage rates with personal and local service. MMCU can also help with all your financial needs, like free checking with no minimum balance, auto loans, credit cards, and so much more. Visit MidCarolinaCU.com to find out more.
Mid-Carolina Credit Union, our community, our focus.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Your pet deserves high-quality health care. Your pet deserves the friendly, professional doctors and courteous staff at Midlands Veterinary Practice. We treat you and your pet like family by listening carefully to your concerns and addressing your pet's long-term healthcare needs. With the use of our latest state-of-the-art technology, like a therapeutic laser, we offer alternatives to drug therapy. At Midlands Veterinary Practice, we care for the most valuable pets, yours. Visit us at MidlandsVet.com on Facebook or Twitter, or contact us at 750-7387, 750-PETS.
Hurry in. For a limited time, get big savings on automotive batteries while they're hot. Visit AutoZone today for hot deals on the parts and supplies you need. While heat causes battery fluid to evaporate, which could damage your battery, Duralast batteries are designed to beat the heat, tested to start your car at up to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, you'll get a $20 AutoZone gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select automotive batteries. Let's get you what you need. Restrictions and details apply. Limit 2.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
iHeartRadio wants nothing more than to bring you closer to your favorite artists.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
So we've updated the iHeartRadio app. No, it's an upgrade. All your favorite music and stations, easier to find. Getting you closer to the music you love with just a tap.
This is Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless, and this is iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Download and open the new iHeartRadio app today.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400.
WCOS Columbia.
Available anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app.
Fox Sports Trending now.
This report presented by TrueCar. When you're ready to experience a better way to sell or trade in your car, check out TrueCar.com/trade today. Today, the Miami Dolphins officially announced the signing of quarterback Jay Cutler, and while he's coming out of retirement, 5-time Pro Bowl nose tackle and 2-time Super Bowl champion Vince Wilfork announced that he's headed into retirement via a Twitter commercial for a charcoal brand that showed Wilfork manning a barbecue and delivering a potentially iconic line.
No more cleats. I'm moving on to smoked meats, fellas.
Elsewhere, the Buffalo Bills today signed 15-year veteran receiver Anquan Bolden. Jets head coach Todd Bowles said that receiver Quincy Enunwa has a bulging disc in his neck and will likely need season-ending surgery. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are. It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's prime time right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan hanging out with you. Appreciate you being here again. Lots to get into as the Clemson Tigers are on the practice field tonight in pads. Tomorrow we can recap some of the things that went down over the weekend. Biggest news, though, probably out of the Tigers camp so far. Ray McLeod practicing on the defensive side of the ball. Is that more about the surgery and the hand issues that he's got, can't catch the football, and they're just trying to keep him in shape? Is that more about pro potential down the line? Dabo Swinney, as Zach Lentz, senior writer for Clemson Sports Talk, said here on the program, doesn't do anything without a purpose. What that purpose is, we may not know just yet, but it could also be a sign that a young man named Amari Rogers is making an impact early on, just 5 weeks into his career at Clemson. But all of that will shake out over the next several weeks as we head towards college football season. We mentioned at the back end of hour number 1 an article by Bob Gillespie of the State newspaper. Always appreciate the work that Bob does for the state, of course. When we came to the airwaves here in the Midlands of South Carolina, it was Bob Gillespie who featured Clemson Sports Talk in an article over on their website entitled All Clemson Almost All the Time. And I will always be grateful for that article that Bob wrote back in March of 2014, nearly 7-8 months into our run here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. 803-978-1832. But the Shadow of Death Valley joins us on the line. Wants to talk a little bit about that Brad Scott, Jeff Scott connection in South Carolina. South Carolina's, I guess, firing of Brad Scott directly leading to Clemson's current co-offensive coordinator, Jeff Scott, being in Tiger Town. Shadow of Death Valley, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Hey, you know, it's funny. You were calling out earlier for maybe some Gamecocks to call in, give their opinion. You know, speaking of that article back in the day, the one that Gillespie wrote about your program, I remember reading that. Seemed like a lot more Gamecocks called in when you were first on the airwaves there in Columbia, didn't they?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One, they were winning when we arrived, and two, back then, I will tell you this, Shadow of Death Valley, we were on 560, which is still a station here in our iHeart Media cluster, I guess you would say. It was a much bigger signal back then as well, so we definitely hit more Gamecock ears that were not just in and around Columbia. We hit many people that were, you know, out in, I guess you would call a little, you know, bigger pockets, maybe over in Camden and down to Swansea, etc. So a little bit bigger signal back then as well. That probably had something to do with it. But I bet, Shadow, winning was the biggest deal.
Yeah. Now, did we ever get an update? I mean, have we heard from Speedy, or did he figure
Speedy's alive? Speedy's alive and
Okay.
well. He called in several weeks ago and touched bases with us for the first time in a long time. I told him, I said, Speedy, I'll be honest, I thought you may have died, man. I just didn't know what happened to you. He said, Swanee, I've been busy. But he tipped his cap. He tipped his cap to the Tigers.
Well, he was the kind of unofficial Trump campaign advisor, if I recall correctly. So I figured
we didn't talk politics.
Maybe he thought his work was done. Yeah, maybe he thought his work was done. You know what I mean? But no, the Scott article is a great article, and I wanted to share something with you. You know, back when, and it's funny because you mentioned some of the Gamecocks' reactions to Brad coming, and I can remember even some of their board members being quoted when he came on to Tommy's staff, and they were pretty bitter. And it's like, hey, man, you fired the guy. I mean, he's got to go out there and to quote Latrell Sprewell, feed his family. And, I have my cousins and uncles, we're talking dyed-in-the-wool Clemson family here.
Right.
Brad Scott, when he was coach at Carolina, actually came to our family church there in the PD and spoke. And I'll never forget, my uncle and both my cousins, who hate Carolina, I mean, with a passion, said, we don't care where that man coaches. We're Brad Scott fans from now on. Said he was so genuine, such a great guy to talk to, and you could really, get a feel for the type of values that he was instilling in Jeff and his other son there. So in that respect, it's not a shock to see the Scott family, once they landed at Clemson, have such a positive impact. And
right.
The thing that's funny to me, I actually still see today, man, that, and obviously Carolina fans got a lot to be angry about the last few years, but they still take shots at Brad Scott on some of their message boards, which I admit I read sometimes just for entertainment value. And it's like, hey, newsflash, South Carolina's been terrible at football for the better part of 120 years. Brad Scott didn't start that for the Gamecocks, okay? He actually got them to their first ever bowl victory. I know it was the CarQuest Bowl, but they had never won before he got there. So I always find it humorous that they kind of dump on him and blame him for 0-11 in Holtz's first year. And it's like, look, bud, I can give you Sparky Woods, Jim Carlin. I mean, we can go back as far as you want. Carolina's, for the most part, been a very bad football program. So it's always humorous to me to see them try and dump it onto Brad Scott like he invented it there.
I appreciate that. No, I think you're right in a lot of respects there about the fact that they do tend to target Brad Scott for a lot of the failures. But when I grew up, as I've always said, South Carolina, until this 5-game winning streak that they recently had, they had never beaten Clemson back-to-back seasons. And I do remember as well, I can't recall, and this would take a Gamecock historian, so to speak, in terms of when this happened, but for many years, South Carolina was playing football under 500, just under 500. Let's see. And right now, they are at 589, 565, and 44. So 24 games under 500, but for many years, and I think that 24 games, I bet you if we look back, I bet the worm turned under Steve Spurrier. I'm not sure. Well, I can tell you one way we could find out pretty quick. What was Steve Spurrier's record at South Carolina? That might give me some indication. If he was 24 games, give or take a few, over 500 in Columbia, then he may very well have been the person who took South Carolina from being under 500 to over 500. In fact, he was 86-49. So absolutely, it was Steve Spurrier during his tenure at some point along the way that would have taken South Carolina from being a team under 500 all time in their history to over 500. 86-49. Yes, that's almost 40 games. I don't know when it happened. It must have been during one of those. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It would have happened in the 11-2 years. Somewhere along 2011, 2012, South Carolina went from being under 500 all time to above 500, I guess, all time, if my math is correct. And I could be wrong on how or when that happened. A Gamecock listening may be able to break it down for me and tell me I'm wrong on that. But that was something that happened quite recently for the Gamecocks. Maybe, you know what? It may not have been under him, because don't I technically have to count back 24 or so? Well, you know what? Those 11-2 years would do it pretty quick, right? Because those would be 9 games over in 1827. So it probably happened there. I'm probably right on that front. We'll send it out to the phone lines real quick here on Clemson Sports Talk. Caller, welcome in.
Swanee, good evening to you, National Championship Sports Talk Show. How are you tonight?
Man, I'm great. How's it going?
I'm blessed. Hey, man, I heard Luganville today on our Feinbaum. Oh, Feinbaum got the booty, buddy. He got mad. Luganville asked the question, how can you place Ohio State, how can you place Florida State in front of Clemson in the new poll? How can you do this? And USC came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's predicting Clemson to win the conference again.
Luganville?
Shocked. Yes.
Really?
He said Florida State offensive line is not that good.
Yeah.
He's thinking if Clemson can find a quarterback, he don't see Clemson losing the conference. And Feinbaum asked, why is everybody drinking the Clemson Kool-Aid now? Yeah, Feinbaum, you're jealous. You know, I heard another guy say today I was in the Low Country. Name two football teams that have two stadiums they play in the state. You know who it is?
Let's see. So hold on. Don't tell me. I like trivia.
Sorry.
I like trivia. Don't tell me. I didn't hear the answer if you said it.
Okay, go ahead.
So what's the question, Cleveland? Give me the question.
Okay, there's a college football team in two states that got two home fields.
Two home
Who are
fields.
they? Yeah.
College football team, two home fields.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a great one. I love this. Two home stadiums. I want to say like UCLA or Southern Cal would be one. I don't know if that's right. The other, God, I don't know, man. Hit me with it. Teach me a lesson.
He said Arkansas. They're playing Fayetteville and Little Rock.
Okay.
Right? And the other one, he says Clemson. I'm like, how you say Clemson? Because Clemson beat Carolina on the series at William Bryce Stadium. Clemson has a winning record in William Bryce Stadium, baby.
No.
Death Valley and William Bryce Stadium. Clemson playing two stadiums, buddy.
Cleveland, man. Oh, wow. I hear you, buddy. Appreciate it. You got me. You got me good. 803-978-1832. I'm thinking, man, does UCLA play in two stadiums? I start thinking, is LSU the one? Two home stadiums? Or they play it. They play in Baton Rouge. They ever play in New Orleans? You got me. I don't have I don't have a response to that at all. I don't get befuddled much on the airways. You got me on that one. Speaking of the Florida State Seminoles, of course, you probably saw the news as well. This was another hit they took. Expected to be their starter this year, Devontae Phillips is suspended indefinitely after having 5 felony fraud charges brought against him. Last season, played in 11 games with only, I believe, 1 reception, but nonetheless was expected to be a starter this year for the Seminoles, and now suspended indefinitely. So that could be another reason to, I guess, maybe buy Clemson, depending on what happens there. I mean, that's a starting wideout. That's a big deal. 803-978-1832. The Truth Seeker on Twitter says, Swanee, go Tigers. Keep the crown in 2017. It'll be tough. Okay, and I hope I tempered some of the expectations that are out there. Again, I don't believe that this is going to be a bad year for Clemson by any means. But again, to believe that Clemson is going to have a better record than last year is not going to happen. And if I have to waltz in here at 15-0 and apologize to you guys in January, I will. I don't think Clemson's going to go 14-1 either. I think that's going to be tough to pull off this year. But if a guy like Tom Luganville thinks it could happen, or at least Clemson could win the Atlantic Coast Conference, I mean, there is a possibility that, you go through the schedule, you lose one game in conference, you get in the playoff, and you get beat. Finishing with 2 losses, playing in the college football playoff for a 3rd consecutive year. Whew, can you imagine? Again, this is something I tried to stress a couple of weeks back. The measure of college football programs, and I don't know how many times I need to say this before people start picking up what I'm putting down. The measure of college football programs in 15 years, if we stay with this college football playoff deal with a 14 playoff, will become the 14 playoff. That's where the national titles will be measured. Yeah, but Swanee, what about Miami? They won 5 national titles. Yeah, I get that. But that era of college football will be perceived as the era of the NFL is perceived where you didn't have the Super Bowl. Is that fair to those players who won those titles? Probably not. Do they get they lose those memories of those national titles? No. But if you stick with a CFB playoff model, even the 1981 national title that Clemson's got will begin to be diminished by the playoff championships, by the teams that went through a playoff. What happened in 1981 and 82 and 83 and so on, all the way up to 2013 with Florida State's national championship, will be diminished by the value that will be put in to the situations in which the 4-team playoffs have to go through to win the title. Now, maybe I'm out on some strange limb, and maybe other people aren't catching on to how that's working. But again, my model is the NFL. And perhaps in 1964, 1965, I'm not old enough, okay? I wasn't doing much back then. FSU fan says, it's okay, Swanee, but his career receptions, I think, are 5. Talking about suspended wideout for the Florida State Seminoles, Devontae, Freeman. Phillips. God, sorry, Devontae Phillips. No, I did it again, didn't I? I'm getting your old Devontae Phillips, not Devontae Freeman. Okay, back to it. But if you were around, if you were alive in 1965, 66, 67, just after the Super Bowl kicked off, I have to imagine that there was still a little emphasis on the teams that had won world championships. World titles, I guess you call them back then. But eventually, at some point, did it not all become about the Super Bowl? I mean, when I turn on the television for the Super Bowl this coming year, they're not resetting what happened in 1966. They're not trying to tell me who won the last world championship. They start with Super Bowl I. The AFL versus the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers kicked off the Super Bowl. Nobody gives a rip who won it and played for it in 1966. And eventually, and I don't know when that point happened, that the Super Bowl became the thing and everything that happened before the Super Bowl. It's kind of like BC and AD. So you've got BSB before Super Bowl and ASB after Super Bowl. Well, pretty soon you're going to have BCFP before the college football playoff and ACFP after. And people aren't going to care about what happened before, because all you're going to say is, well, it was a voted system. It was a beauty pageant. At least this gives us a playoff, a real playoff. And people go, well, yeah, but what about the BCS era where we had 1 versus 2? Again, just a beauty pageant where we eliminated some contestants for not being quite as good looking. We're like, all right, you guys are okay, but you're out. We're going to take just these 2. I don't know if that's 5 years. I don't know if it's 10 years. And if you remember, if you were alive in 1967, 68, 69, when the Super Bowl was 1, 2, and 3, at what point did those world championships were not a big deal? When did that happen? Teach me. Make me smarter. 803-978-1832.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? but to order at Kaufman's Meeting Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meeting Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
Lawton Swan hanging out with you here, the show that shakes the Southland, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, the new website coming. You're going to love what we've got to offer you over there. If you want to support us, you can. Head over to ClemsonSportsTalk.com right now. Click Support Us. Learn how you can be a member of the Ring of Honor and what that entails. 803-978-1832. Again, if you are a resident expert on the historical preservation of the world championships of college, or of the NFL, excuse me, or of professional football, I would love to hear, in your opinion, when it became about the Super Bowl and not about the World Championships or whatever it was called previously, back in 1966, prior to, well, I guess the season was the 66-67 season, so I'd be talking about the 65-66 season in terms of when it kind of went away, when it became, we're not overly concerned about the thing that happened prior to, if that makes sense, where I'm what I'm getting at. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832 is the number. The game was created as part of a merger agreement between the NFL and its then rival league, the American Football League. I knew that. It was agreed that the two teams, the two league champions, would play in the AFL-NFL World Championship game until the merger was to officially begin in 1970. After the merger, each league was redesignated as a conference, and the game has since been played between the conference champions to determine the NFL's league champion. Currently, the NFC leads with 26 wins to 25 wins for the AFC. The Steelers have the most with 6. The Patriots have the most appearances with 9. So was it that let me check that kind of confuses me a little bit. Did you guys call it the AFL NFL World Championship game? I mean, I could have sworn it was Super Bowl III when. Oh man, the Jets and Joe Namath I mean, my whole life that's been taught to me. I feel like I'm just finding out that Christopher Columbus wasn't the first European to land in the Americas. What? Did they not call it Super Bowl III? Tell me that my whole life I have not been taught about Super Bowl III being this incredible victory of the Jets over the Colts, and yet the world was calling it the AFL-NFL World Championship game. I mean, I feel like I've been slapped in the face here. I just feel like somebody came along and just punched me right in the gut. I would make the argument that even more so, even more so supports my stance on what's going to happen with the college football playoff era of college football. Heck, at least they called it what it was. Are you telling me that Super Bowl I was not even really called Super Bowl I? That cannot be right, people. I mean, I feel like I need to get on the horn with like Don Shula right now. Coach, help me out here. I'm at a loss. All right, NFL historians, do your work. I put my minions to work on a project. Let me know what am I missing here? And if you were around, what was the reaction? What happened? How did you feel about the old stuff? I think that's important to know. 803-978-1832. By the way, Scott chiming in via the Ocean Reef Resort text line, going for the Traveling Man Award. Scott got 2,713 miles this week. Just checking in. Boozer chiming in says, Swanee, as a kid, I got smacked around by Boomer Esiason for taunting him on the field after we beat them. That's incredible. Boomer Esiason, right? Maryland guy? I feel pretty certain that my baseball cards, football cards, whatever, back in the day, that Boomer was a Maryland guy.
Grab case and football. That's what Maryland does.
Yes. They absolutely do. Some people got on to me about my Maryland take. Some people were fussing that I missed Maryland. They said, how could you miss Maryland? It was like Boston College. That's how? No offense to Dan Rubin, hashtag being a dude. No offense to Steve Adazio, who, by the way, I was so angry that Adazio was on the same day as Lamar Jackson, Christian Wilkins, Dabo Sweeney, DeAndre Francois. Didn't get to talk to my man, who, by the way, is, I really believe, one of the better personalities in this league. Steve Adazio. You got to love this, too, if you're a Tiger fan. When you watch the feed of the game, and it's the coach's feed of the national championship game, when Clemson scores to win over Alabama, Adazio is like, yes, ACC. I mean, he's fired up about the Atlantic Coast Conference winning the national title. Boom, 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 boom. Tigers all the way. But he didn't say. I may be embellishing a little bit, but he definitely jumps up and celebrates. He's definitely happy that Clemson won the national title. Good for him. Good for him. What a dude. What a guy. What a guy. Steve Adazio. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. DeAndre Hopkins came out a couple of days ago, I don't know if you saw this, and said that Tom Savage should be the quarterback. Nuke Hopkins, I know. Whoa. Settle down, Tiger Nation. Settle down. I understand that Nuke Hopkins and Deshaun Watson both went to Clemson.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal.
So I get it. But Hopkins said basically, hey, look, I've been around. I know the quarterback situation in the NFL. And Tom's got to be the guy. I mean, essentially, that was the comment. I'll get you the full quote from Nuke Hopkins here in a few minutes on Clemson Sports Talk. When we come back, we got a break coming up. I'll read you the full quote. Plus, of course, coming up soon here in Charlotte, you've got that matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit as well. 803-978-1832. That's Wednesday, 7:30 in Charlotte. Tiger Nation guarantee you they'll be out. Of course, Ben Boulware, still a part of the Carolina Panthers. Watson back in the Carolinas. You know everybody's going to be fired up about that. We'll also tell you what Ron Rivera had to say about Clemson's Deshaun Watson as well here on Clemson Sports Talk. When we return, it is 31 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock on a beautiful Monday evening in the Midlands of South Carolina. Thank you for being a listener on ClemsonSportsTalk.com, where you can watch the show, or on the podcast editions as well if you are not with us live here on the show that shakes the Southland. We come back in 3. Stay with us.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Hi, my name is Donald Kidwell, current owner of CrossFit Iron Mary's. After finding CrossFit in 2012, I lost 128 pounds. At CrossFit Iron Mary's, you're not a barcode, you're an actual person. Where you are now is not important. Where you want to be is. 3 locations to reach your fitness goals in Columbia: the Old Mill in Lexington, Trotter Road in West Columbia, and downtown near the Carolina Baseball Stadium. Check us out online at CrossFitIronMarys.com or give us a call at 803-414-9601. Set up your first set of free classes today at CrossFit Iron Mary's, 803-414-9601.
The showers out there this evening will die off overnight. The lows will dip down to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot of clouds and some pretty active storms late in the day. The highs only mid to upper 80s. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia is getting you ready for the big eclipse. Test drive today and receive a free pair of Eclipse glasses. Plus, get out of this world deals on hundreds of new Toyotas. The eclipse is coming. Get ready for it today at Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at ClemsonSportsTalk.com.
Do that one dance, baby. That one dance. Yeah. Oh. You don't know how to do that? Baby, do it for your grandma. Come on, I'm old and I'm trying to learn it. Well, yeah, do it.
Oh my God. Girl, ain't that Zayn? Yes. Don't you love a lot of girlfriend? Girl, I don't care. I don't care, girl. He's still girl, yes.
Walked in this party and these girls looking at me. Skinny jeans on,
Oh, I don't have my skinny jeans on, though. That's the only problem. When I'm jujuing on that beat, I need my skinny jeans on. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, 1400. The iHeart Radio app. Davey D23 hanging out with us live on our Slack channel. Says, I was going to say Alabama with two stadiums, Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, but I think Cleveland, man, took the cake on that one. Man, he did, too. I mean, I was really debating. I'm like, golly. All right, so Southern Cal, they play in the Coliseum. Do they also play in the Rose Bowl? I thought maybe that was one, or maybe UCLA plays in both, or something like that. I mean, was it LSU? Who's it going to be? His with Clemson being one of them. The one in Williams-Brice Stadium. Wow. Didn't see that coming. David D. also says that Boomer was a Terrapin, and he thinks that Danny Ford, that it was Boomer Esiason was the quarterback when Danny Ford got kicked out of the game that Maryland played in Death Valley. We actually talked about that one last week a little bit. All right, so back to the lecture at hand. Nuke Hopkins thinks Tom Savage should be the Texans starting quarterback. Hopkins saying if anybody should be a judge of quarterbacks, I played with the most quarterbacks in the NFL throughout my first 4 years. He says, so I put the stamp on Savage, and I think that's all that needs to be said about that. Deshaun Watson was later named as the second-team quarterback on the Texans' depth chart. Again, coming up Wednesday, they'll be in Charlotte taking on the Carolina Panthers. Nuke Hopkins, again, picking Tom Savage to be the team's quarterback if he had the choice, and that's who it'll be. DJ Reader, of course, a part of the Houston Texans, along with Carlos Watkins and recent signing Marcus Gilchrist. Also, they are a part of the Houston Texans, who will be in Charlotte. If you're making your way up for that, we'd love to hear from you on that front. What are your expectations for Deshaun Watson? How much playing time do you expect the top draft pick of the Houston Texans to get in this game? Again, it is a unique scenario given the fact that you don't want to see that kid, Deshaun Watson, get hurt because ultimately he's the future of the franchise. I would expect him to play a couple of series. I would also expect the Texans to probably put a little bug in his ear that it's okay to get down and not take a big hit. It's okay to avoid getting roughed up here. Carolina Panthers head coach, though, Ron Rivera, saying that he was a big fan of Deshaun Watson. He says it's going to be fun to see what Deshaun Watson does. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of Clemson and what they've done the last 2 years. If I had a chance at a Heisman vote, I'd have given it to him. What he did in 2 years with that program is tremendous. He said we're going to do everything we can to make it difficult on the young guy when he's out there. Don't forget this, too, about Ron Rivera and the Carolina Panthers. And I am sure that our good buddy Mark Packer was saying this in jest the other day when he was making his way down to Clemson for the camp tour that SiriusXM does. But he said that the Carolina Panthers told him, hey, if you don't mind, bring us back a couple of those defensive linemen. A couple of those ready-made NFL guys, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Cleveland Farrell, Austin Bryant. I mean, when Austin Bryant's the last name you're mentioning, when Austin Bryant is the last name you're mentioning, that just tells you how good everybody else is on that front line. Speaking of guys on the front line, that would be an odd scenario. How about this? Johnny Manziel, who has typically been placed in the college sports corner, brought to you by our good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, simply because of how often he finds himself in the news on the bad side of things. Johnny Manziel's interested in being a college coach if he's unable to return to the NFL. All right, so I'm watching Last Chance U. Season 2. Kicked that off last night. Ooh, how I missed you. How I have missed you. Kicked off Season 2. Last Chance U. they could play that show year-round, I'd never do anything but watch it. This would become like Last Chance U radio. Well, can you believe last week? I just couldn't have y'all calling in. Be like a soap opera. But watching Last Chance U, you know, Clint Trickett, former Florida State quarterback, his father was a coach on the Florida State staff for many years, and Clint ended up transferring, I believe, and playing at West Virginia. Clint Trickett is one of the coaches. I don't know if he's the offensive coordinator or just the quarterback's coach. I want to say the offensive coordinator at East Mississippi Community College. At least he was last year. He may not be there anymore. I know they've had some changes, but nonetheless, I'm just thinking about Johnny Manziel, man. Maybe that's the spot when Clint moves out. I don't know if Clint Trickett is still there. But, hey, Johnny, maybe that's where you need to be a coach, over at Last Chance U. Clint Trickett, 26. He is now at Florida Atlantic. Ah, interesting. So there you go with Lane Kiffin. So he's not there anymore, Johnny. Somebody's obviously there, but you missed it, buddy, by a year. You could have been a coach at Last Chance U. Might have been the last chance for you as well. You know, I always think back to Johnny Manziel just after he won the Heisman Trophy. And a whole lot of this crazy nonsense hadn't really gone on to the point. I mean, there had been some buzz around him. Some things had happened, but nothing too terribly big. And I never will forget, my sister was in, I want to say, New Orleans. And she calls me up. She says, I'm not kidding you. Johnny Manziel just passed by me with a big bag of ice like he's going to a party or something. And I thought, man, Johnny Manziel was not in New Orleans. Johnny Manziel was in New York or wherever he had just been. Wherever it was. Sure enough, I jump on his Twitter feed, New Orleans. I'm like, well, yep, that was Johnny. That was him. She said, well, he looked like he was going to have him a good time. And, boy, I'm not sure Johnny Manziel stopped having a good time since then. Not sure he's the biggest role model that you want around your players right now. He might be a good example. You know how they bring prisoners from the correctional facility to schools to talk to kids about not getting in trouble, not making bad choices. I don't remember what that program is called, but, you know, like Stay Smart. That might be an avenue for Johnny Manziel around college football. I just don't see anybody willingly cutting him a check to come in and coach. Unless it's at a school like East Mississippi Community College where kids are trying to get their lives back together. Because Johnny could use a little bit of that. Maybe Johnny could be a part of some of those courses that those young men are going to. Some of those classes to teach them life lessons. That might be the place Johnny needs to kick off his coaching career. Final segment, flip side here of the show that shakes the Southland.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
services. Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules.
You're listening to Clemson Sports Talk with my dad, Lawton Swan, on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeart Radio app.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Weeknight, 6 to 8 p.m., Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, live on ClemsonSportsTalk.com, and potentially coming to a market near you in the future. 803-978-1832. Again, if you got a station in your area, you don't like what you hear from 6 to 8 p.m., call them up, let them know. Let them know that you'd love to have the show that shakes the Southland be a part of your evenings. Don't forget, if you can't be here for the entire program, we podcast every single edition of it. We put it out there on social media just after the show wraps up for you to listen at your leisure on your iPhone, listen at your leisure on your Android device, on your Amazon Echo, on your Google Home. Now, you can listen just about anywhere. That's the way we like it. That's the way we like it. 803-978-1832. Again, you can text us thanks to our friends at the Ocean Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086 is the number if you want to be a part of what we do here on a day-to-day basis. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. That's the best way I can explain it to you. We just have a good time. And I hope you do too. Let's see. Out on social media, getting hit up via the text line, I believe. This one comes to us from Tiger Chris. It says, Swanee, I think Ray McLeod, we talked about Ray earlier in the show. I think Ray will be a great punt returner this year. I just have a feeling, he says, we'll need to make plays in the return game this year to compete for the conference championship. Tiger Chris, you know, that's going to be a big part of the success of this Clemson Tiger team. As I've mentioned here, I don't know what's more valuable this year, special team scores or defensive scores. And when I said that the first time, people were like, well, special teams, Swan. Duh. Because field goals and extra points are special teams. But when I'm talking about special teams scores and their value, I'm talking about punt returns, kick returns, that aspect of the game. I understand that extra points and field goals are special teams. Clemson Larry chiming in, I believe, in the great state of Minnesota tonight. Larry says, if Are Manziel's playing days over with? If so, good riddance. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make a, bounce back by any means. By the way, I did get an email the other day, or actually a letter, from Jim Ingram, who works with the Columbia Touchdown Club. And the Columbia Touchdown Club has been a tremendous part of the community for many years here in the Midlands of South Carolina. And, of course, one of the things that the Columbia Touchdown Club does is gives people an opportunity to, one, support, but also go hear from, a lot of legends in the industry. Guys like Coach Muschamp, Danny Ford, on and on and on, have spoken at the Columbia Touchdown Club in the past. So I would encourage you to check out their website, ColumbiaTouchdownClub.com. They've got multiple membership levels for you to look at. Names and guys who have been a part of this in the past. Again, South Carolina's Heisman Trophy winning running back George Rogers, former Clemson Tiger quarterback Patrick Sapp. So lots of names in the past that have been a part of that, and they've got their entire list of future speakers at the events coming up. But since 1955, the Columbia Touchdown Club has been in existence. Will Muschamp will kick things off August the 24th over at Seawells. Again, the website, ColumbiaTouchdownClub.com. Taj Boyd's going to be there in September. Mike Ayers, head coach at Wofford. How about them Terrier Dogs? My dad's probably saying right now on October the 5th. Marty Simpson, former South Carolina kicker, over there October the 19th. Jim Donnan, the former Georgia head coach, over there on November the 2nd. Perry Orth on November the 17th. And I've been waiting for my invite from Jim and those guys to speak myself. Former Clemson University student and current host of the show that shakes the Southland. Listen, if I'm speaking at the Columbia Touchdown Club, Jim, at any point, I'm thinking pyrotechnics. We're going all out on this thing. It's going to look like a good WWE entrance, okay? I'm not just walking to the podium. I need to bring more heat. I got a good story to tell, too. At least I like to think it is. I like to think my story is a compelling one that you all would love to hear. But no, again, ColumbiaTouchdownClub.com for all the information over there. Always appreciate Jim getting up with me each and every year and reminding me of that. Eddie chiming in via the Ocean Reef Resort text line. Says Swanee, going back a couple of days, I fully support the idea of Jim Phillips in the Ring of Honor. I'm surprised that I Am Ibrahim isn't in it as an individual. By the way, you can't mention I Am Ibrahim without me mentioning the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson, one of our loyal supporters, Tigersports.com. Eddie goes on to say, I am assuming that Horace Grant and Eldon Campbell didn't graduate. He said he's also surprised that there are no individual soccer players in it. What's the difference between the Ring of Honor and being honored in the Clemson Hall of Fame? Eddie, go Tigers. Eddie, I don't truly know the difference, but I believe the Ring of Honor is reserved for the people that are even further above the level of Hall of Famers. You've gone above and beyond not only graduating, but in what you did for your sport. But that's what I assume. I think it's a bigger deal to be in the Ring of Honor than the Hall of Fame. I could be wrong, but that's the way Lawton Swan, host of Clemson Sports Talk, feels about it. 803-978-1832. Of course, that's the number to be a part of the program anytime. You can text us anytime as well. If you know more about the Ring of Honor versus the Hall of Fame and you want to hit us up, that's good. That's fine, too. Let's see. All right, one more message. Davey D23 says, I have a question regarding Ray McCloud. Would he have a better chance at the NFL as a defensive back? Maybe. I don't know how good he's going to be in coverage. Again, I think this is more about his hand and less about the push that Amari Rodgers may be making for playing time. I mean, I think certainly if Ray McCloud sees the writing on the wall, then a move would be something that he might be willing to make, given the fact that, you know, he would have some opportunity to develop as a defensive back and potentially move into that role at the NFL level. I mean, you get some time. It's not as if you're sitting on a senior season with Ray and he's out the door. I mean, he's got another year after this one, and he played 2 years at defensive back. That's as much as you got out of Mackenzie Alexander. So maybe. It's a good question, though, David D. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us for 2 hours here on the show that shakes the Southland. Until tomorrow night, as always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.